As a devout follower of the Crow franchise spanning over 2 decades of my existence, I must admit that the latest remake has left me with mixed feelings. On one hand, I am thrilled to see the series resurrected. But on the other, it feels like some crucial elements have been lost in translation. The 2024 adaptation of The Crow deviates significantly from the 1994 film in terms of plot, although both share a similar overall narrative arc. In both movies, the protagonist is Eric, a tormented soul who meets an untimely death alongside his partner Shelly. However, due to the devastating nature of their demise, Eric is granted a second chance at life and transforms into the nearly invincible Avenger known as the Crow, seeking vengeance. Yet while both adaptations of The Crow share a common storyline, they adopt distinct narration styles. Significant alterations have been made to the protagonist's powers, romantic subplot, side characters, antagonists, and the universe's mythology across the 2 versions. The new movie's interpretation of a key character is particularly noticeable, as it starkly contrasts with the original 1994 version of The Crow, as well as the source material that influenced both renditions. Here are some of the most significant differences between the upcoming remake of The Crow in 2024 and its predecessor, starring Brandon Lee. An unusual Shelly has a far more important role in 2024's version of The Crow. Olivet Road, religion, and the main difference between the 1994 version of The Crow and its 2024 remake lies in how they portray Shelly, Eric's deceased lover, and the reasons driving his vengeful quest. In the initial film, as well as James O'Barr's original comic, Shelly plays a minimal role in the narrative. She is killed off early in the original movie, along with her fiancé Eric by a gang attack. However, the movie does not delve deeper into her character development beyond this point. In the 2024 adaptation, there's significantly more emphasis on the couple and the relationship compared to the original. Shelly is given a deeper character development, showing an ardor for her music that was previously unseen in the original storyline. The film delves into her friendships as well, making her seem like a more rounded and complex character than before. The next question of the past episode. In this new version of Crow, Shelly appears to be much more fully realized than she was in the original, where she served primarily as the motivation for the protagonist's quest. And when we smith down the new zine, the 2024 Crow gives Eric and Shelly's romance. A new origin, the wizard bird, can be best in fan states, given unwanted advice. The 2024 adaptation of The Crow gives a deeper look at Shelly and Eric's romance by exploring their early days together as a couple. Unlike the original film, where their relationship was already well established at the start, this time around the focus is significantly more on their relationship rather than just Eric's quest for revenge, and it shows how they first met. Following his mysterious arrest for a yet unknown crime, Eric and Shelly cross paths unexpectedly when they both end up at the same rehabilitation center. After managing to break free from incarceration, they spend an undetermined period of time growing increasingly fond of each other. This serves to heighten the tragic outcome of their story and plays a significant role in deepening the characters prior to film aspects unfolding. And I have done them about opposing companies in the film, and I have done them by the activities in its strong word, and you can really see something making itself. You're going to become passing alive in a new Crow, and the reason, maybe, in the original comic adaptation of The Crow, one significant aspect was portraying Eric and Shelly's deaths as senseless acts of violence, representing the unpredictable nature of life and mortality. However, in the 1994 movie, a twist was introduced suggesting that Top Dollar had targeted them due to Shelly's resistance against his tenant relocation schemes. In the 2020 version of The Crow, a completely new motivation for Eric and Shelly's deaths is presented.
which is directly connected to Danny Huston's Rogue character.
And I guess their recently released movie, Rogue finds out that Shelly and her companions have footage showing him employing his powers on her, compelling her to kill another woman. Although Rogue employs his powers to sentence individuals to a life after death intended for him, Shelly, managing to evade him with evidence that could tarnish Rogue's public reputation, incites him to deploy his henchmen to pursue her. This adds a more emotionally fueled aspect to Eric's quest for retribution, which becomes significant in the 2024 film. If you're seeing anything about that is rose in both realms, would be about that other supernatural forces are at work in the new Crow. In my opinion, one of the most striking aspects of the 1994 movie, The Crow, lies in its portrayal of a supernatural entity, the Crow, wreaking vengeance against a touch gang of seemingly ordinary yet ruthless villains. Characters like Top Dollar and his associates were essentially common folks, far from ready to face an immortal figure. Such as the stories unfolded, these antagonists adapted and sought to exploit the unexpected vulnerabilities of their supernatural adversary, but they remained mortal throughout the film, making their confrontations to re-abilities and files all the more gripping. In the 2024 adaptation of The Crow, Rogue isn't following the path with Rogue, who is portrayed as a menacing supernatural entity himself. It's revealed that he struck his deal with the devil for eternal life and also possesses the ability to manipulate others through his commands. This sets Rogue in stark contrast to Eric once he acquires his powers. The pursuit of immortality by Rogue even hints at his subsequent attempts to capture the Crow, as he aims to extend his lifespan beyond the terms in his pact. This broadens the scope of supernatural forces and their effects within the Crow universe. We would not say that the new Crow doesn't share the same weakness as the original. In both movie adaptations of The Crow, the revived character Eric is portrayed as an almost invincible figure in combat due to a remarkable healing factor. This trait enables him to endure immense damage during his pursuits for vengeance. However, each version presents a vulnerability that neutralizes his abilities. In the 1994 film, The Crow, it's revealed that the Eric's powers originate from one of the mystical crows that transported his soul after death and resurrected him. So that, in the updated version, Top Dollar's group no longer attacks crows. Instead, Eric loses his powers when he questions his love for Shelly, which was what brought him back to life initially. Interestingly, the original 1994 film used this vulnerability against Eric during a crucial battle scene, while the new film exposes it earlier in a significant emotional actor's distancing. In an AC, Motion Eye lived it in Murder. Now, and he called the young medium effete. 6, the original Crow was far more theatrical with his kills. As a follower, I find one of the intriguing contrasts between the two adaptations of The Crow lies in how each portrays and brings to life the main character, the undead avenger, particularly after he embarks on his vengeful spree. In the 1994 version of The Crow, Eric transforms into a more inventive and dramatic executioner. He needed it felt out fitting retributions to those who killed him and Shelly, such as covering the knife-wielding Tin Tin with blades or compelling drug-addicted fun boy to overdose. In essence, Brandon Lee's portrayal of the Crow was a dramatically intense character who spoke to and tormented his victims before taking their lives. Conversely, Bill Skarsgård's interpretation is a more dim-witted, frequently appearing disorganized and less ready to kill his victims compared to the original. His initial kills are surprisingly unpredictable, and even his massacre of Rogue's men seems less extravagant than the 1994 version. This new film presents Eric as a markedly distinct character, despite adhering to the same fundamental plot line. And then Kronos wasn't in the original Crow. In the 2024 adaptation of The Crow, Kronos is a new character, not present in the original movie. A shrouded figure, Kronos becomes pivotal when Eric passes away. Encountering him in a bizarre train station that straddles both time and dimension, Kronos serves as the voice for the crows, elucidating to Eric the events unfolding around him. He resurfaces later on, urging Eric to fulfill his task, despite losing faith in Shelly, eventually assisting him in reinstating his powers. In the latest movie, a character named Kronos takes on the role of the Crows spokesperson, who bring back the character Eric. The Crows in this version are portrayed with a more enigmatic atmosphere compared to their depiction in the original film. It is important to note that Kronos was created exclusively for the new movie, as he does not appear in the original comic or the 1994 adaptation. In the latest movie, Kronos serves as a means of introducing and building up the backstory and lore of the new film. And they say, hey, they go, there's no cop or a young girl trying to help the 2024 Crow. Audience, everyone for Cross. In the latest adaptation of The Crow, Kronos appears. But some crucial characters from the 1994 original are missing, such as Sergeant Gerald Albrecht, played by Ernie Hudson, and Sarah Moore, portrayed by Rochelle Davis. In the original film, Sergeant Albrecht serves as Eric's strongest ally, stepping up in the climax to contribute to a successful resolution. In the original storyline of The Crow, I forged bonds with both Eric and Shelly before they passed away. Later on in the movie, my safety becomes a pivotal driving force for Eric, particularly when I get abducted by Top Dollar and his goons. However, neither character reappears in the 2024 version of The Crow. Instead, the film focuses solely on Eric's quest to avenge Shelly. Interestingly, the only law enforcement officer who significantly factors into the plot is actually a pawn of Rogue, serving as the first target in the movie. So this was also very simply finding moments. That idea was there for also a great... 9, Shelly is resurrected in the Crow remake. One significant alteration in the 2024 reboot of The Crow is how it handles Shelly's ultimate destiny. In both adaptations, Eric fulfills his quest for vengeance by eliminating those responsible for their murder.
But unlike the original 1994 film, where Shelly brings Eric back to life in the afterlife, the remake presents a different scenario. Eric is trying to reverse their deaths, rather than being reunited with Shelly's spirit.
In conversation with Kronos, Eric learns that fulfilling his task appears to bring both of them back from the dead. However, when his resolve wavers and his mission is thrown off course, Eric suggests staying in the afterlife so Shelly can live on. Kronos agrees to this deal, and at the end of the movie, it seems like only Shelly is revived, not Eric. This new adaptation of The Crow ends with a bittersweet tone, maintaining their separation, but instilling hope that they will reunite someday. And that said, with the truth, thanks for watching, and until next time.